Hi guys, welcome. Today we're going to be drawing Thelma the Unicorn. Thelma the Unicorn is one of my favourite characters and she's from one of my favourite stories. I love Thelma the Unicorn and I love reading it to my students because it's got a lot of great lessons in it, like being careful what you wish for and learning how to love who you are and that you don't have to be someone else to be amazing. So today we are going to draw Thelma the Unicorn. So if you just watch along very carefully, remember you can pause whenever you want to or need to, and then you can keep going. You also have an option in YouTube where you can slow down the video a bit if you go into the settings, and you can play the video at a slower speed. So, alright, let's start. Thelma the Unicorn. When I draw, I like to start with the eyeballs. Now I'm going to be using a fine tip marker today, but that's so that you can see what I'm doing on the page. You are welcome to use a lead pencil. You can draw in a coloured pencil if you want. I usually prefer to draw in lead or even felt tip pen. So I'm going to start with Thelma's eyeballs. So she's got a very small iris, a very small pupil. That's the part in the center. So I've drawn my little circle there, and I'm just going to put the little black part in there. So at the moment I've got this circle and I've got a little bit of a black part in there, and she's got a very large eyeball, so I'm going to make a large eyeball just like that. She also has eyelashes coming off her very large eyeball, so I'm just going to put some eyelashes in. She's got 1, 2, 3, so 2 and 3, and I'm holding my pencil similarly to how I'd hold it during handwriting. I'm looking at my picture and she's a little darker just around this part of her eyeball, so I'm just going to go under there just a little bit more, just to make that a little bit darker. Now, sometimes I'll do both of the eyes to start with, but she's got a very interesting face shape. I think I'm going to maybe try and work on her hair and the top of her head. So her hair in the picture comes just behind her eyelashes, and it's quite triangular there in shape. And as you notice, I'm using just quick little movements with my hand. I'm coming up a bit, I'm going around, making the top a bit rounded, and then joining that up. So there's part of her lovely mane. Now, she's got an ear sticking up from the left part of the mane, and it's quite pointy, so I'm going to go straight up, and then I'm going to round it a tiny bit, and then I'm going to come back down again, and I'm going to bring that to where the end of that part of her mane is. So there's one ear. So now I'm going to come into the middle, and I'm just going to create a bit of an inside of the ear. We need to draw the other ear as well, so that's going to start from this part of the fringe, or the mane, sorry, and it's going to come out, pointing that way a little bit, coming down. Going to create the inside of the ear, and I'm going to just make the top of her head there. Now I'm going to draw her horn. So her horn comes up from the top of her head. Remember, it's really a carrot under there, and it's going to come up past the ear, and it's going to be longer than the ears, so it's got to come out longer than the ears. So if yours is not longer than the ears, then you might need to make that longer. So see, my ears stop here, but my horn keeps going. Now on the horn, there are rings like this, like on a unicorn horn. So I'm going to draw those in. So we've got part of her head so far. Let's keep going. So now I'm going to draw the edge of her face coming down to her nose, and then I'm going to draw in her other eyeball. So with the edge of her face, it comes straight down from this part of the horn. Okay, and it comes down, it comes, and then it starts to slope a bit, and then it slopes out this way, and that's where we get her nose. And she's got two nostrils, one here and one here. Now I'm going to put in her other eyeball. So it comes out from the side. It's not going to be a big circle because that would look weird. Her eyeball would have to be hanging out for it to be like that in real life. So we're going to start from where the horn and the face meet, and we're just going to come out and make a half circle, a semicircle, like that. And we've got eyelashes coming off there too. Okay, and I'm going to try and draw the iris and the pupil pointing at us. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of a black pupil in there. Great. So I'm just going to come back to my nostrils because there's a bit of a little ledge there just to make them more obvious. I'm going to put in some little lines just to do some shading. So now I'm going to draw Thelma's smile. I always find mouths a bit tricky, so I'm going to take my time and do this carefully. Now when I'm looking at my picture, I can see that her mouth curves up this way and then sharply curves up, and it stops about here. So I'm just going to put a little dot in so that I know. Okay, so now I'm going to come around, I'm going to make a mouth, I'm going to go that way a little, then it starts to come over here a bit, and then it turns upward. I'm going to get to that point. Now I'm going to draw the rest of her mouth. So I'm going to get my hand, my pencil, sorry, my pen. I'm going to come down. It's going to be a bit like a funky banana, I guess. Okay, and it's coming down this way, but now it's going to come up and join. So now I'm going to make her teeth. So her teeth start lower down around here, and they're a straight line going that way, and then we've got lines going sort of diagonally diagonally vertically along here, and a little one. So that's her smiling mouth. And then we need her lip, so her lip comes just from where the teeth and the face meet. And we'll go down, come around, come up under her mouth, and we're going to keep going to make her jaw. There we go. So we're getting there. All right. We're not going to draw the entire body on Thelma. We're just going to draw what we can, maybe focusing mostly on the face. So we're going to come up just where it's curvy here. I'm going to come over to the right of this curve, and I'm going to draw a line that curves a little bit going down, because that's the front of her body. And then I'm going to draw part of a leg coming out this way, and a bit of a hoof. And then a line coming up and over here. I'm just going to make that come out a little bit more. And I'm going to draw a line just coming up here to show where her leg starts. Okay, now this leg here is quite wide, so I'm going to come across. I'm going to put my pencil down and I'm going to make a rounded sort of shape with my line. And I'm going to make it coming closer because her legs get slimmer as they come down. Okay. I might come back up here and work on the mane actually. So, her mane, the flowing part starts around here and we go out like that, and let's do a nice big sweeping kind of stroke so it looks flowy. Ready? So like that. Okay, I might just go over that one more time. There we go, and it's all nice and flowy. So now let's bring that down a bit more. We've swept it out like that. Now in the picture, the ends of her hair or her fur on her mane, it's not a very sharp kind of line. It's not dark and bold. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do little flicks. If we make a flicking motion with our hand, then it's going to make the hair look very flowy, like it's flapping in the breeze. Lovely. Now we don't want to make it look like she's wearing a giant scarf, so we're going to have to put some texture lines in. So texture means, you know, looking at whether something's rough or smooth, flowy or jagged. And the way we do that is we have to think about how we form our lines. We're going to take our time and make them in a rough way, or we're going to, you know, do them quickly and smoothly like this. But when you think about hair and the way it looks, it's very, you know, thin lines, very smooth, very free flowing, very liney. So lots of lines in there to create Thelma's flowing hair. And you'll notice that not all of my lines are straight. They have a bit of a curve and a bit of a wave to them. I might do that for this little section of mane too. Lovely. She also has bits of glitter, and they're shown as just little circles. So as you can see, I'm not pressing on my page for a long time and holding down my pen or my pencil. I'm just doing these really quick little circles, and they're not all the same size. Some of them are larger, some of them are small. I just want to show that glitter, and there's little dotty bits over here. Wonderful. And we'll just show where Thelma's back is. So it comes around like that. And going down over here, and we've got to leave a big amount of space here. We're going to just draw the front of that leg, bring it in, and it comes down like that. If you can draw your hoof, you can draw your hoof. And under here, we're going to draw her tummy. There we go. And leg number 1. And I'm just going to put in little bits like the hooves. Wonderful. And Thelma has this lovely tail as well that flicks upwards. So because it flicks, like I always think about the movement, the way things move, and a tail is very flicky and swishy, so I'm probably going to be flicking and swishing my hand as well. So her tail starts up here on top of her, at the very end of her back, where a tailbone would be, because she has a tail. And I'm going to bring it around, and then I'm going to flick And I'm going to come over a bit further, and I'm going to go around like this, and I'm going to flick like that. Now again, we want it to be hair-like, so we're going to make these lovely flicky lines coming up through the tail. Okay, and we're keeping it nice and soft and flicky around the end because we want it to look like hair. Wow, so our Thelma is looking pretty good. I'm just having a look at it now because I've been busy down here doing the drawing. But I'm having a look through our camera lens and it looks great. She looks great, I should say. So now you can add colour if you like. So Thelma is this lovely light pink kind of colour. Now you could use pencils if you wish. I actually don't seem to have any pink pencils at the moment, but I do have a pink marker, and I'm having a look at other colours too, and she's got a really light grey kind of mane, and I do actually have a grey marker too. So I'm going to use those to colour her in. But remember guys, you can use crayons, you can use pencils. If you've got one, you could even use a highlighter. There's all sorts of ways you can get this happening. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to colour in my Thelma. Okay, and when we're colouring in, we're trying to keep within the lines, taking our time, and we're trying not to get out the tip of our texture onto our black lines, because otherwise it will actually mix and you'll start to get black smudges throughout your drawing, and I'm sure you wouldn't want that to happen. So there we go, we've got one of the ears coming along nicely. Now for the other ear. And guys, you know what? You might have noticed me holding some of my pencils and pens a bit further back. When we're handwriting, there's a particular way we have to hold our pencil. During art though, it gets a little bit different. You can use that pencil grip that we use, but you might want to use hold your pencil or texture a bit further back so you can do larger sweeping lines like I'm doing right now. Okay, you might even be holding it like this at some points, depending on what kind of strokes you're trying to make. Okay, so I'm going to keep colouring that in. I'm trying to be gentle. I'm trying to get as much of the white spaces as I can as well. I'm trying to colour, you know, closely. I'm keeping my next strokes close to my last stroke so I don't get too much of the white spaces in between. Okay, and I'm carefully colouring around the horn. And there we go. We have Thelma the Unicorn. Thank you for joining me on this video. I'm sure you love Thelma just as much as I do. But what a great way to celebrate a great character by drawing her. Thank you for joining me. Bye.